Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Wayne County officials reversed course and certified the election results. This comes just hours after a surprising party line deadlock cast the certification of more than 800,000 votes in doubt. What we're learning this noon. But first, restriction rollout measures to help stop the spread of the coronavirus are in effect today, as promising new information from Pfizer is just released today as well. And the drug maker is saying that its COVID vaccine is even more effective than first reported. As Stephanie Gosk reports, Pfizer says that the vaccine is 95% effective and, if approved, can begin distribution as early as next month.
The FDA could have the important data it needs from Pfizer to review the vaccine in the coming days. The company says its results from its ongoing phase 3 trial that included 45,000 people across ages and demographics shows that the vaccine is even more effective than they originally thought, 95% effective, and that so far there are no serious safety concerns. They are going to continue to follow participants for the next 2 years to make sure that that's the case. If the company gets emergency use authorization, it says it will have 50 million doses available by the end of this year and 1.3 billion doses available by next year. The first people up to get the vaccine will be those critical frontline healthcare workers, but wide distribution could take months. There are infrastructure challenges. This vaccine needs to be kept at temperatures below freezing, colder than the Arctic. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, New York.
Certainly promising, Stephanie. Thank you. Meantime, the encouraging news on vaccines is boosting the stock market today. We are taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which has been up about 100 points most of the morning. Analysts say that the vaccine news has investors feeling better, that the economy will get back to normal sooner than expected. Today, the new 3-week coronavirus order, the pause, is now in effect across the state of Michigan. It includes remote learning only for high schools and colleges and the closing of indoor dining services and restaurants and bars. Movie theaters and casinos are closed. The governor says that more than 12% of testing are coming back positive, and that needs to go down drastically to around 3%. She also spoke about the restrictions this morning. Here's what she had to say.
This is really driven by our epidemiologists and our public health experts that tell us it's inherently dangerous with the kind of community spread that we have all across Michigan and all across the Midwest and frankly all across the country. The inherently dangerous situations are when you are inside with people from a different household or many different households for a prolonged period of time with masks off. That's what happens in restaurants. And that's why it's really going to be critical that the feds get their act together and give us some stimulus support for these small businesses, for these restaurant workers. I have incredible empathy for what they're struggling with, and yet we have to follow the epidemiology, the public health experts, and make decisions that combat the spread before our hospitals get overwhelmed and before we hit 1,000 deaths a week in Michigan, because that's what the modeling is telling us where we're headed right now.
Meantime, the state health department is giving an update right now on the virus here in Michigan. They say that Michigan has the 10th highest hospitalization rate in the country. And right now, more than 15% of hospital beds in the state are being used by COVID patients. And we have also seen 980 outbreaks. That is up 32% from the previous week.
This is the highest number of outbreaks we have recorded since we began tracking these data. Following long-term care facilities and educational settings, the greatest number of new outbreaks are reported in manufacturing, construction, restaurants and bars, retail, and social gatherings.
In the last week alone, more than 53,000 people in Michigan have tested positive for this virus, and more than 12.5% of those tests, I should say, have tested for the virus, and over 12% have tested positive. Now, on the national front, coronavirus cases continue to skyrocket across the nation. There are more than 11,383,000 confirmed cases in the United States. In total, more than 248,000 Americans have died from this illness. And that's according to a Johns Hopkins University database. And as Morgan Chesky reports, The White House Coronavirus Task Force warns of aggressive, unrelenting, expanding, broad community spread as the hospital crisis reaches dangerous levels.
Can you open the door, please?
This morning, doctors are bracing for yet another pandemic punch. A new White House report obtained by NBC News offering a stark warning. There is now aggressive, unrelenting, expanding broad community spread across the country without evidence of improvement, but rather further deterioration. Current mitigation efforts are inadequate and must be increased. Dr. Anthony Fauci expressing regret for not pushing harder for mass testing earlier.
I said it went nowhere, and maybe I should have just keep pushing the envelope on that.
In the Midwest, cases are surging. Ohio's governor announcing a 21-day curfew starting tomorrow. South Dakota, the only state without a mask mandate, now the leader in hospitalizations per capita. And in the South, Arkansas's positivity rate topping 10%.
If Arkansas continues at the present pace, an additional 1,000 Arkansans that will die as a result of COVID-19 between now and Christmas.
Still, it's neighboring Texas that's been hardest hit, especially El Paso. It now has more cases than the Dallas and Houston areas combined.
This has just been what I would call like a tidal wave that hit.
Ashley Bartholomew, one of the hundreds of nurses doing their best to keep up. Hospitals here so flooded with record-setting COVID admissions, this convention center's been transformed into a field hospital.
I've seen more death and more sickness in the last 2 weeks than I've ever seen.
Outside hospital walls, Walmart spearheading this pilot program to expand testing in El Paso, using drones to deliver at-home COVID tests. A big idea taking off to help other hotspots as cases rise.
That was Morgan Chesky reporting. Also this noon, Wayne County officials are reversing course. They have certified the election results. If the state board follows suit, the Republican state legislature will select the electors, which could mean a huge win for Donald Trump. However, Governor Whitmer is confident that they cannot pull that off.
Well, the law is clear, and the vote was overwhelming. Joe Biden won Michigan by 14 times the number of votes that Donald Trump won Michigan in 2016. We had a full, free, fair, and secure election. The will of the people will stand, and I think we've got to go into this with, of course, bracing ourselves for more shenanigans. But at the end of the day, the will of the people will be respected, and Joe Biden won Michigan.
And let's check in with Rod Maloney. He has been following this for us throughout the morning. What's the very latest, Rod?
Well, as things stand right now, it sounds like the Board of Canvassers meeting, which was scheduled originally at 9, then at 1:30, has now been canceled. So that's probably, we've been told, postponed until Monday. And it has been an eventful 18 hours because last night the Wayne County Board of Canvassers met, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and initially they deadlocked on the vote as to whether to certify the election in Wayne County. That caused enormous amounts of anger and frustration. And after the board agreed that they wanted to have an audit of the election, the Republican chairperson, Monica Palmer, and also William Hartman, who is the other Republican member, then in turn voted to actually certify the Wayne County election. Now, their concerns had a lot to do with what they called independent comprehensive audits and also problems with ballots or out of balance precincts. That was the real concern. It's the number of votes cast versus the number of votes counted. And they said that there were a lot of discrepancies and they were deeply concerned about that. So in the meantime, the NAACP and Mayor Mike Duggan have come out this morning. They had a news conference about a half hour ago. Decrying what happened last night, angry with the Republican members of the Board of Canvassers, and very angry at the Trump administration, saying that for all intents and purposes what they did last night was racist. In fact, Wendell Anthony had this to say about what transpired at the Board of Canvassers.
Our eternal thanks for the vast number of workers and volunteers who risked their very lives during the COVID-19 period to count the votes, endure the insults, harassment, and intimidation by Trump operatives seeking to invade their space. The Republican representatives on the Wayne County Board of Elections canvassers, by their stalling rejection of the will of the people, until folks from around the city weighed in with their objections, our case in point. This is the deadly political virus attacking our election process. Monica Palmer and William Hartman stood in the doorway attempting to block democracy from finding its way.
So the mayor also pointed out that the same board of canvassers approved precincts last time around that they didn't this time around, and he felt that it was grossly unfair and unfair to the people of the city of Detroit, and particularly the election workers in the city of Detroit. Now, we have reached out to Monica Palmer and also to William Hartman, and we're told that they're going to have a statement sometime this afternoon between, say, 2 and 4 o'clock, but we're uncertain exactly how that's going to look and how it's going to go. We're also going to be hearing from the current Speaker of the House and get his take on all of this, and we'll have all of that coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and 6. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, thank you. We're going to switch gears here and talk about the weather. We do see some bright sunshine out there, but is it enough to warm us up after starting off the morning in the 20s? Brandon joins us now with a look.
Well, Rhonda, again, we're on the 40-degree side, a couple of degrees north and south of that mark. So the sun is having an impact for us. After low and middle 20s and wind chills in the teens, we now have upper 30s and low 40s as we look live from the Penobscot building toward Campus Martius, and we're getting more and more into that ice skating weather. But it doesn't last too long here. We've got these south-southwest winds, so 39 at Metro feels like 31, and we've got wind chills in the upper 20s to the middle 30s. Make sure you dress for that as you're heading oot and aboot this Wednesday afternoon. Mostly sunshine, about 44 degrees for a high this afternoon. And we're going to jump up 15, 20 degrees, Rhonda, as we head into Thursday and then somebody's birthday. I've got that forecast coming up.
Well, all right. I would take 70s if that's possible, but talk to your Mother Nature people about that. Still to come, ready for takeoff. The Boeing 737 receives a green light nearly 2 years after those deadly crashes grounded the fleet worldwide. What we're learning.